Hello everyone, and welcome to the Influencer Barbie channel. We have Miss Barbie Roberts, and I am Barbie's assistant. My name is Beverly, and I am an adult Barbie enthusiast. Welcome to our Barbieverse. We create content for people who love all things Barbie as much as we do. We are joined in the Barbie studio today by a new friend for Barbie, a new member of the Influencer Barbie team. This is the Dr. Jane Goodall doll, and she was a Christmas present for me. So I want to give a special thank you to my husband, who knew that I wanted this doll and encourages my addictions to all things Barbie. So our Dr. Jane Goodall doll, she is from the Inspiring Women collection. She is a Black Label signature doll. She was released in 2022, and her box is cardboard, and it has a note here that made from a minimum of 75% recycled plastic. In a tiny little disclaimer, it says, excludes doll head, hair, and chimpanzee. And I was doing some research on the doll, and we'll go a little bit further into that. From what I saw on the website, originally the version of this doll that was released was made from 90% recycled plastic. So with this box being labeled 75%, I think she's probably a little bit later production. But let's take a look at her box. So it has a picture of our doll and her accessories and one of the chimpanzees that she studied over the years. This is David Graybeard, one of the original dolls that Dr. Jane Goodall was studying. And the sides of the box are fairly plain. And the back of the box has some more information about Dr. Jane Goodall and what she did. It does list her as 1934 to present. Dr. Goodall unfortunately passed away in 2025, so obviously this box was printed beforehand, and Barbie and I were both deeply saddened when Dr. Goodall passed away. So we'll go ahead and get her out of her box and take a look at her. And one of the nice things about this box design is that she does slide out easily, and the box itself is, I believe, made entirely from paper and cardboard, and she's held in place by some cardboard loops, and the accessories appear to be held in place by rubber bands. So a nice change from Mattel, and how I am always complaining about how the dolls are held in place by plastic that can be rather difficult to remove. So let's see if we can get Dr. Goodall out of her box without damaging it too much. That is actually a twisted piece of paper that is holding these accessories in place, so even better. I want to get everything out of the box without damaging it. Alright, so I ended up needing to unbox everything off camera because it was a little bit complicated. But I really do have to give a kudos to whoever designed this box, because once I was able to get everything out of the box, I'm actually really impressed by its design. So if you pick up the Dr. Jane Goodall doll and want to remove her from the box but keep the box intact, I'll tell you what I did. So first I removed this little bit of craft paper, and our chimpanzee David Graybeard sits on top. If you open this up, he was held in place by two little plastic pieces that then just twist off and he comes right out. Then if you open up this little bit on top, so pull it out, the doll stand is inside, and everything in this part was held in place by a long piece of paper twine. So you just untangle everything from that, and then you sort of have to pry open these flaps on top and on the bottom. And if you do it carefully, you can open everything up without tearing. Then this middle piece is held in place by these little slots, but it's easily removed. So you can remove the middle divider piece, and then the rest of the box is one piece of cardboard. So I'm actually really impressed by the design of this box. Normally I wouldn't care about a box, but I just thought it was really neat, and the fact that it was designed to be eco-friendly with using one piece of cardboard and the second in the middle, I am just really impressed by that. And if you notice the design here and here, these are actually excerpts from Dr. Jane Goodall's notes. So that is another nice piece of design here. And the doll and her box really have minimal packaging. Instead of being held in place by the dreaded posts in the back of the doll's head, which I always complain about, she is just held in place. She and her accessories are held in place by a few pieces of cardboard. So that really helps to minimize waste. So I just wanted to point that out because it is a really nice touch for this particular doll and her collection. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. So you saw the doll stand next to our doll, and then the base and the little holder part were tucked inside the little flap. She gets a green and white doll stand, and the plastic for this doll stand actually feels a little bit more flexible than a lot of the doll stands, like especially the clear doll stand and brace here. I'm always afraid that I'm going to break those. This one feels a little bit more flexible. So for those of us who have a tendency to break things, that is a really nice touch. So here is our chimpanzee, David Graybeard. And like I said, he was easy to remove from the box. You just twist those little pieces of plastic. Now, he does not have very much mobility here. He can move his arms a little bit. And I noticed that his head is a separate piece, but it does not turn. So it's just his arms that have movement. but he is actually really nicely textured, and his gray beard painted there. So nice detailing on his fur. So we'll put him over here with Barbie. And Dr. Goodall comes with a really nice set of binoculars, and they have a nice flexible strap. A lot of the binoculars that come with Barbie sets, I've noticed, do tend to be kind of stiff and difficult to get around the dolls. So depending on what sort of material was used to make this set of binoculars, it's really nice. And speaking of Dr. Goodall's notes or journal, we get a little plastic version of her notebook. It is all one piece. It does not open up, but you can see the little detailing of the flap here, and then the straps that she used to keep it closed. Put that there. And she also comes with a watch. We'll put that on her in just a minute. So here is Dr. Goodall. She does have a pretty bad case of box hair. We'll see if we can flip that up. So, oh, and I forgot, we also have a plastic stick for David Graybeard. So I was doing some research to find out some more about this doll earlier, and previously I really wasn't all that interested in the different face sculpts and body types for the different dolls, but I've really become interested in that lately. And so our Dr. Jane Goodall doll, her face sculpt is the Jane Goodall. So her face sculpt was designed to look like Dr. Goodall, and she has blonde brown hair. It's fairly long and pulled up in a ponytail, and she has green eyes, pink lips. You can see a little bit of her teeth, and she has freckles across her cheeks and nose. And real life Dr. Goodall did have freckles. So, and she has a really good face screening here. I don't see any shininess or pixelation. And I do notice that she has tiny little holes for earrings in her ears. But because they are so small, I don't think that they actually go into the doll's head. So I do not think that she is actually designed to wear earrings. But that is a nice little attention to detail. And she does come with a certificate of authenticity. This was inside the box behind the background of the box. I'll put that over there. So a little bit more about our doll here. I believe I mentioned that she is part of the Inspiring Women collection, and she is a Black Label signature doll. So her body sculpt or body type is called Barbie Loves the Ocean, and that is a collection that Mattel started in 2021. And the Barbie Loves the Ocean, they released a few dolls at the time. I remember that there was also a beaded plastic bracelet that you could buy, and that Mattel would donate to an ocean and river cleanup group that they partnered with. And all the dolls with that Barbie Loves the Ocean collection, they were made with what was called recycled ocean-bound plastic. And so Mattel's goal was to achieve recycled, recyclable, or bio-based plastic materials across all of its products and packaging by 2030. And they had this campaign that was called The Future of Pink is Green. And so Dr. Jane Goodall was part of that collection. When I was doing some research, I did not see any more information about that Barbie Loves the Ocean campaign and the dolls that were associated with it. So I'm not certain, but I think that the campaign may have unfortunately been discontinued. So if you know anything more about that, please comment below and let us know whether Mattel is still doing that. That would have been a very nice campaign for a toy company that does use so much plastic. So with the Barbie Loves the Ocean body type, Dr. Jane, she has some articulation at the head. She can turn right to left, but not up and down. And then she just has the basic 5 points of articulation. So she has movement at the arms and at the hips. And then she has the one straight arm and one bent arm that a lot of the dolls with limited articulation have. And she wears this sort of safari style shirt. It does Velcro in front, and she has khaki shorts. They Velcro in back, and it is a rather stiff fabric. Her pockets are functional. So I'm thinking that we might want to take in her shirt just a tiny bit in back. Maybe make this a little bit more figure flattering for Dr. Goodall. And she wears black hiking boots. They do have a slit in back, so they are removable. And they're very nicely textured. So you can see shoelaces, and she has the Barbie bee on the soles and some texturing here. So overall, she is a very nice looking doll, and she is going to make a great addition to our influencer Barbie team and be a new friend for Barbie. Let's put her watch on so she does not lose that while she's out observing chimpanzees. It was very sad to hear about Dr. Goodall's death. We may need to use a little bit of a rubber band to keep her watch on. And if you do have Barbie accessories that you're trying to keep on, like shoes and pieces of jewelry, clear elastic ties are great for that. You can wrap those around and they're not very noticeable. So, kind of thinking that we might need to put Dr. Jane on a made-to-move body, or at least one with a little bit more articulation, so she's able to go out into the field and observe chimpanzees in a little bit more comfort. Well, thank you very much for watching, and please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to be part of our Barbieverse. And be sure to ring the notification bell. It really does help our channel to grow. And once we hit some subscriber milestones, we plan to have some fun giveaways. And if you'd like a chance of getting a shout out in an upcoming video, just comment below with the hashtag InfluencerBarbie. So thanks for watching, and we hope to see you in our next episode here in our Barbieverse with Dr. Jane Goodall. Bye-bye!